Budgy Smugglers, we are back.
We are back, baby.
Welcome to the Budgy Smugglers podcast. I'm comedian Jeremy Dooley, joined, of course, as always, by fellow comedian Stevie B, Steven Bradshaw.
What's going on? We have an absolute loaded episode. There's so much to talk about, Jules. We've got the F1. Oh, my God. We've got a big breakdown of the F1 coming up. Socceroos got their World Cup draw. We've got the Ashes. There was the Australian Open this weekend. Soccer. Everything you can think of, we're covering. But before we get into that, Jules, how you been, mate?
Mate, it's been good. It's been a good week. Of course, we're filming a day later than normal and recording this. I've been on the road, and so I was on a plane coming back yesterday. But it's been a good week. A lot of shows, a lot of fun shows, a lot of travel.
Yes,
it's been good. I tell you what, one thing. This divided the room. I was in Darwin on the weekend, and I said that I had found the best laksa, and it's not the place that they always tell you.
Mary's Laksa, which I get every time I'm in Darwin.
Which is good.
Okay, this is controversial, and this would split the room because I don't think Darwin has a lot going on for it other than top floor comedy and Laksa.
Yeah, well, I remember when I took you up there and we both had Mary's Laksa. Phenomenal. And we're both like, this is amazing.
God tier.
Jacob Ray, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete, slid into my DMs and he's like, mate, don't worry about Mary's. There's another laksa stall at that same market. And
not the one right next to it. No, there's 12 of them.
There's about 1 million, but it's probably like 5 or 6 down. Yati's laksa and long noodles.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely god tier.
Better than Mary's.
Better than Mary's.
What was the line? Because Mary's, it's open. There's 4 servers. There's 4 gigantic lines, but they keep it moving. What was the line like?
So I got there pretty early because I didn't want to have to compete with lines.
Yes.
So I think the market opens at 8. I was there at 8:15.
It's early. That's early. Very early.
After doing a show the night before as well. And so there was 2 people in front of me at the line, and then at Mary's, when I was walking afterwards, I noticed there was probably like, half a dozen people in the line, and it's just 3 sort of, grandmas doing all the cooking, doing all the stuff, cash only, and it was elite. I wish I could have experienced that for the first time again. It was so good. Yati's.
And I don't know if any of our smugglers are from Darwin or have been to Darwin. I think we had this conversation the first time. Neither of us are big Laksa guys.
No.
But that's only because the quality of Laksa in Melbourne sucks. But you go up to Darwin, oh my goodness, there's a large Malaysian community up there, and it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Half the reason I go and perform in Darwin is just for the Laksa.
Yep. So that was really good, and that was a real highlight. I bought a cowboy shirt.
From that cowboy joint on the corner?
From the cowboy joint, from Delaney's Cowboy.
Yes, Delaney's.
Country and Western. I got a cowboy shirt.
What kind of number is it?
It's black with like, I'll show you, and then we might chuck a photo on the...
That is a cowboy shirt. That is a cowboy shirt. I love that.
So I got that. That was good.
Yep.
That was also a highlight of the week. Once I get through we'll do the shows that we've done in a sec. But after one of my shows, oftentimes people after shows, they'll tag me like holding merch and stuff like that. But it's the first time someone had gone straight to a bakery after a show and bought a croissant. And were tagging me in their almond croissant.
That's very nice of them.
That's good. How are you? What's been happening?
Oh, not much. Pretty chill. Just got back from Perth last week, obviously. And yeah, pretty chill. Did some gigs, had some fun. Spent a lot of time in Mount Eliza for a comedian. 2 gigs in Mount Eliza last week. So, but yeah, been good. We had a shared experience. We both supported Uncle Chop Chop last week.
Yeah, give us your rundown of your gigs last week, because you had a few.
Yeah, I had a few. I can't remember all of them, which is a shame. But what did I do? I did do Mount Eliza on Tuesday, which was fun. And just MCing. I think you're scheduled to MC that in a week or two yourself.
Yep, next week.
Mount Eliza Comedy Club. Lovely. We had, this will happen to you as well. There's an old guy there called Mick.
Okay.
And he's a long-time member of the comedy club, the country club,
Yep.
which the comedy club is a part of. And he asked if he could jump up on stage very quickly, just so that he could tell everyone there that don't normally come to the country club, hey, if you want to have a function, if you got a birthday party,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff, and just and so he jumps up and he goes, "Hi, I'm Mick from the country club," and then he goes, starts talking about this is great, it's very cost effective, and then he starts going, the club was founded in 1950 by blah, 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 blah. And then in 1951, and then just went on this long spiel. And then at the end of it, he did do a bit as well. And he got a laugh as well.
Wow.
So that was quite possible. I knew it was going to happen as soon as he asked me. The normal room runner wasn't there. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to be mean to some old guy that wants to get a bit of stage time. So I let him do it. And one of the worst starts to a comedy show ever. But it was good. And it was one of those tricky ones. I'd like to know how you'd handle it, because your gut instinct as a comedian is to go up there and rip him to shreds. But then you're kind of making fun of an old guy and turning the audience against you from the jump if it doesn't go well. So I kind of found a middle ground, and where had a little light-hearted fun and got a few laughs out of that. But definitely a lot of jokes could have been made about his fact that he's minutes away from death, it seems. But have you had that experience before?
I have actually had that experience. So I was doing a solo headline show in Summers on the Mornington Peninsula.
Ooh, lovely.
And as people were coming in, I got a bit of intel that one of the patrons who had purchased a ticket was a comedian.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I went out, and a 93-year-old woman, and I said to her, so you used to be a comedian? She's like, yes, now I'm a writer, and I'm into film, and I'm like a art critic, and blah blah blah. Still super sharp, physically quite fit, for her age. And I was like, do you want to come up and do 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And she's like, really? You really? And I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And she came up and did 5 minutes. And honestly, it was probably the first 4.5 minutes. I was like, I've made a horrible mistake here. And then the last 30 seconds, it was the filthiest material I've ever heard in my life.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It turned the audience from being sort of half asleep to like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. And so that worked well in the end.
There you go. Well done. Shout out to you, Mick. Obviously, he's not listening because I don't think he knows how digital technology works, but good on you, mate.
On you, Mick.
And then, of course, on Friday night, I was back in Mount Eliza for Uncle Chop. Oh, I did Foot's Loose. There's only 3 of those left, which was a bit of fun. There's a good crowd there. I was trying out some new stuff, none of which is funny. And then on Friday night, I went and opened for Uncle Chop Chop in what was a very lively crowd. It was a crowd of 2 halves. Mm-hmm. So we had a very loose, very loud, very sort of, people that are from Frankston, but they're from Mount Eliza, but you're still from Frankston, but they think they're bougie. Yep. So a lot of middle-aged women on the shards, a lot of cucks, aka their husbands, just like sitting there and accepting the fact that their wives are going to be quite loud and chirpy throughout the show. So that was great, which was fun. They were fine. They didn't really interrupt the show too much. A bit of banter back and forth. On the other half of the room was a Christmas party. And you could tell it was a real estate company. And you could tell that the owner of the real estate company was a very big fan of Chopper, aka Heath Franklin, and that barely anyone else there knew who he was or what a comedy show is and how it works. So it was a fun one. I was emceeing the event, and I had to do a little bit of crowd control and all that kind of stuff. During Uncle Chop Chop's set, had to go politely tap on some shoulders to tell people to calm it down. But it was a very weird vibe, but everyone had a great time. Got a ton of good feedback. It felt like at the start I could have gone pear-shaped because I just went up there for 3 minutes and took bullets to try and calm everyone down. Once I did, it was all good from there.
Yeah. It's I do think Christmas parties, bucks parties, hens parties at comedy shows doesn't often work well, I don't think.
No.
Because they want to chat and like, and get on the beers and
Yep.
the nose beers and all that sort of stuff. And so like when you're at a comedy show, you're listening. Like you're sitting, you're not chatting to the people next to you. There might be a little bit of banter on stage, but that's about it. So it's always like a bit of a like, ooh.
The good part, though, I did start at the start of when I sort of got everyone to clap and bring me on. As soon as I did that, they started bringing out the main meals as well.
Oh,
which is great.
great timing.
Fantastic start. But yes, actually had a lot of fun. What about you? You did the same thing.
Yeah, Tuesday night, I was at the Notting Hill Hotel with
Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, with Heath Franklin and the Nelson twins.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun. Again, probably a similar thing in that the audience was very much there to see the Uncle Chop Chop. Heath Franklin doing his Chopper Read character, but also. There was also half the audience who had been dragged there by someone who was like really into it. It was a good show. The Nelsons did great, and it was what an elite Palmer at the Notting Hill Hotel. Yeah, they put on a good spread. They look after all the acts, so that was a really fun show. Wednesday, I was in Gowan Bray doing a daytime show for new parents, which was pretty funny. Once I was able to get into the venue.
Okay. Today years old when I found out that Gowan Bray was a venue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right next to the airport there.
Yep. So there's a few families in there. A couple of people who had just who didn't have kids, and I was like, there's going to be babies in the room screaming. I'm like, yep, no worries. So that's always good. And then after that, one of them went straight to a bakery and got a croissant.
Ah, lovely.
So there was a lot of fun that show. And then I flew up to Darwin. 3 nights in Darwin, 3 shows in Darwin. So the MC'd their Friday night show, which was a lot of hot audience.
Yes,
it was a hot audience. Very loose audience, very loose acts as well up there.
God, I love Darwin.
They're not big on
political correctness.
I was going to say keeping to time.
Oh no, they're not good at that either.
They're like, how long do I have left? Like 2 minutes past their time. I'll do one more bit that goes for 15 minutes. Which, I mean, it was great. Everyone was having a good time. Like, it was a lot of fun. Then 2 solo shows on the weekend. The Saturday show was I went well over an hour in that show because it just kept like, all right, cool. And you want more? All right, I'll keep giving you more. And it's only because there was a private function afterwards that needed the space to be turned around. So I wrapped that up. And that was a great show, hot show. And then did a baby-friendly show Sunday, Arvo. And I think at one point, all of the bubs in the room who could crawl or walk made their way up onto the stage.
Oh, that's pretty adorable.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. At one point, they were all on stage at the same time to the point where I stepped off the stage because there was no, like if I moved, I was stepping on someone. That was pretty funny. It was Darwin's great. Love getting up there that was my week. It's good to get some good minutes in there, get a couple of hours in there and starting work on some new stuff, which has been good. I had a interesting experience at a 21st that's become part of
the bit.
It's become part of the key thing that I'm not going to talk about it too much on air just because it's, it'll still trying to figure it out, but basically, 21st speeches. This is all time.
Okay.
All time.
I like it. Can't wait to hear it. Lot of conversation. Speaking of stories, there's a lot happening on our social media in the comment section, Dools.
Yep.
Where do you want to kick off on this?
I'll kick off on some of these YouTube ones, and then you can go on all the ones that are flaming me on TikTok.
Yes, I cannot wait.
Of which there are many. These comments are taken from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and wherever else on the Budgy Smuggler pages, but also some will come directly to us as well. Davion Wilson 6195. Giving Josh Giddey his own of the week is dumb. No one cares. Well, Davion Wilson, which is a weird, like Davion. It sounds like a shitty home brand stereo company.
Get a real name, Davion.
Yeah. Are you Dave? Like, is that what people call you? Or Vion? Ugh. Anyway, we care. All of Australia cares. Josh Giddey deserves his own of the week because he's putting up some all-time numbers. Grow up. VH
on that, just for one of the other ones, the Josh Giddey number one in our power rankings is criminal apparently, and someone else said Oscar Piastri should be number one, which I'm like, what? Why? Anyway,
VH Dive commented on YouTube on the Oscar Piastri post. First time I see a North American talking about Formula One.
I was going to flame him, but then I noticed he subscribed to our YouTube channel. So I was like, thank you for your feedback.
Yes. We are not North American because we can string a sentence together.
On that Oscar Piastri one on TikTok, they aren't dumb talking about McLaren. It was a move that did not allow for Oscar to reduce the points difference to Lando by not stacking the safety car. Not a great sentence. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but basically he was trying to sarcastically reiterate our point that McLaren screwed over Oscar, and we have a huge deep dive and a Budgy Smugglers investigation on that coming up in a little bit.
Yes, Steven Bradshaw got his magnifying glass out.
Oh, I've got a board up. I've got red string and pins everywhere. Don't worry about that.
Mike Hawk, 612. Mike Hawk with 2 Ks as well. Hawk, 6120. Do Max Verstappen. I think that's a song, I hope.
Yeah. That's a bit of a chant for Max Verstappen. So obviously we backed in Max. Anyone but Lando was our sort of approach. But yes.
Mason Beck, 566. A lot of ones with numbers. Well done, guys. You've proven that you're just DTS F1 fans.
Which is Drive to Survive.
Oh, I thought it was like Dancing with the Stars, but they forgot the W. The camera shot of the McLaren garage when Oscar got pole was of Lando's garage, not Oscar's. They have different pit crews. Why on earth would Lando's crew be excited for Oscar getting pole? Anyone watching these guys go somewhere else, like P1, where they actually know what the hell they're talking about.
No one here is claiming to know what they talk about, but thank you, Mason Beck, for your feedback. We appreciate it. We don't. That's the whole point of this pod. So we're not upset by that. All right, over to your top 5, and these are still rolling in. I'll try and start off with a friendly one. Carlton and Melbourne are easy top 2, which is garbage. But you did have Carlton in your top 2.
Melbourne, that's no one thinks.
I don't hate it with the little demon on top. Richmond literally copied Essendon's design but changed the colour. And yes, Essendon's sash does go all the way around too, while also having the red Puma logo, so the colour red knocks it down at least 5 spots. Someone upset that literally the exact same jumper you ranked number 1 isn't even in the top 5.
They're different colours, dickhead. Like, they're different. The red, it's just a little bit cheesy. It's a little bit done. Who cares that the Puma is red? If Essendon changes their sponsor, their Puma is not going to be like, that's a dumb suggestion. You're an idiot.
This is my favourite. Luke McKenzie says, that seems like a bottom 5. And then Liam Bell chimed in, this is possibly my worst list. Richmond is probably the only one I'd keep it. Shut up, Liam. Anyway, that was no one agreed with your top 5. Sorry, Jules.
Well, I mean, I don't really care what the best Khalifa with one shit flag says in there. MK_GT_racing8. Nah, how many have changed theirs? I don't understand what point he's trying to make there, which happens a lot in our comments where you'll look at them and you'll be like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
If you have a nonsensical comment to put on any of our posts, we greatly appreciate it, Smugglers. We know you've got some new listeners out there. If you're not already following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube or on our TikTok, anytime you see something come through, drop a comment, disagree. We love that. Or agree if you're so inclined. All that means a lot.
Yep.
Tools, you got some what?
Before, there's a couple
Okay.
of comments have come in late here.
Is there?
Yep, on the dumbest things you've done in 2025.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Blaze White, friend of the show, at the beginning of the year, he put money on Essendon to win a final. That's got to be in my top 3 dumbest decisions all year. Look, history is not on your side.
No, not at all. He was very excited about that midway through the season. That is way dumber than spending $300 on a bottle of champagne, I would say.
Yep. Mr. Chris Fraser, NBA Finals Day, Game 1. Stevie, ha, ha, ha.
So that was last year's finals. The
Yep.
Celtics who'd they beat in the finals? Can't remember.
Oklahoma.
Was it?
Oklahoma won the finals. Is that?
No. Like the year before when Boston won the finals, they went up against someone else anyway.
Yep.
But yes, game 1 of the finals. Chris, friend of the show as well, he got some free tickets to Docklands where they had a big sports bet event where I got to meet Leonard Copeland and Dyson Daniels, which was good. And it was all catered for, free booze, kicking off at 10 o'clock in the morning. At any time I'm anywhere, get me to a wedding, a Christmas function, a sporting event where it's an open bar. I'm going to get your money's worth if you give me a free ticket. And boy, did I. But I think what he's referring to is I disappeared, lost my phone, and I had a rough next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Left my phone in an Uber again. That's it.
What's your strike rate of getting them back?
Pretty good. That time I did it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the only time I did it.
Yep. Okay. There you go. I got a couple of good questions. One of the great things about being on tour is that I'll try and I'm not racing to another gig, so you get to have a conversation with people, have a good chat afterwards, and I got a couple of good questions that came through. This one's from Amelia. What are the best and worst things about comedy / being a comedian, or however you want to interpret that?
Best thing is obviously we enjoy doing comedy. So before we were getting paid for it, we were doing it for free. We probably would do it forever for free if we had to. But we're just getting up there, there's no other job in the world or no job that I've had where I've been able to get up on stage, make people laugh, make sure they're having a good time. It's very, very rewarding. The worst thing about the comedy is kind of what I was talking about is the pay. I haven't had a job where I earn so little money, but it is a long slog. There is money to be made. But yes, I do feel like I'm in the mailroom of comedy at the moment in terms of earnings, but I can see a pathway forward. But that's the best thing, is just getting to have fun every night of the week and make people happy. What about you, Dawes?
Yep. Look, yeah, I agree with all of that. I think the best thing is something that I didn't know. So being on stage, being able to make people laugh for a job is awesome, but also being able to see different parts of the world and meet different types of people, that's been really cool. Worst thing about comedy, and so we ended up talking about with Amelia, the conversation, we ended up getting into social media and stuff like that and how that's so this woman had worked in the arts for a really long time in the Northern Territory, and just the impact of social media. And so having to not just worry about what you do on stage, but also doing all the social media stuff is absolutely a thing that I wouldn't say it's the worst thing, but it is very time consuming.
Very time consuming.
And it's, and it doesn't come naturally. So I always have to force myself to do it, which is annoying. I
agree with that. And as a shortcut, we started a podcast so that we can help us with that. But yes, it's all, I think, to be honest, with listeners who aren't stand-up comedians or in the biz, it's almost social media is more important than what you do on stage in terms of getting up and running and success in the business, which it's fine. It's part of what we signed up for, I guess.
Absolutely. And one of the things that sort of happens, though, is that you'll go to a gig and someone might have, 400,000 followers, and on stage they're not very good. Or they're just rehashing their sketches and skits that they've done for their socials. So, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, cool. I've seen this, but from my couch, and I didn't have to pay for it. So, being able to, be good on stage as well as do well on socials. That's been a thing that's been a real focus. I've been going hard on the socials in the last couple of months in particular. And the funny thing that I find, and we get it as well on the Budgy Smugglers, is how many people will comment like thinking that it's serious.
Yeah.
Are you missing this, bro? Like, what's going on? And it is generally a dude as well.
Yeah.
Another question from Bronte. How do you decide where to play, and how do you know what to talk about in different locations? So, because she was talking about how like we don't get a huge amount come through in Darwin. Like, how do you decide I want to play in Darwin? And I sort of peppered quite a few local references in at the start, and they're like, "Oh, how do you know all those things?" So what's your process of how do you decide and figure shit out?
How to decide? There's a few factors. Obviously, if you get invited to go somewhere, that works. If you have a comedian that you've seen, maybe you're friends with, that has gone to a certain location and they say you should go here. And then sometimes for these shows I'm running out in regional Victoria or even South Australia, it's, no one's ever done comedy but before here, or there's not much comedy here, but there's a large population that I think would enjoy it. So, for example, the Phillip Island show, you did the first one, we just did the second one. It's like no one's doing comedy out there. So why don't we try and see? And then it goes well. Heathcote, the same thing. We could give it a shot, and then before you know, the town gets around it. So that's how I decide location, invites, and following in the steps of greatness. And how do you know what to talk about in location? Two things. Sometimes I'll just wing it and I'll just take observations of what I've seen. Like in Darwin, I had about 5 minutes that I wrote about Darwin. There's the Crocosaurus Cove. I had a big bit about that. I had a big bit about how everyone's drunk and trying to bum durries. They love that. And then also, like when I was in Perth, I was like, "Hey, has anyone here spoke? What's the deal with this?" And then they go, "Oh yeah," or like, "Is this the town that everyone makes fun?" Just those kind of things. So other people local to the area, and you test out material with them. What about yourself, Dools?
Yeah, in terms of where I decide on playing, exactly what you said. So using Darwin as an example, myself and a good friend of mine who I tour with, Jared Goundry, we were like, all right, let's have a look at the map. And he booked Darwin first and came back and was like, it's awesome, you should go. And that's kind of where
you went, and I said, "Can I come with you?"
Yeah, and that's been how Darwin has sort of happened. And then my last gig of the year is in Aireys Inlet at the Aireys pub, and that's kind of it's kind of a localish pub for me. And I know that they hadn't had comedy for a really long time, and then they did have comedy, and the feedback was quite strong. And so I was like, well, I should go in there and salvage that as a venue. Yeah, fix some things up here. So that's a thing, and it's also like, where do people not go? I'll go there. So I had one woman being like, "Can you come up to Mackay and do some shows?" I'm like, "Yeah, sweet. Where would I play? Like, what are the good venues?" And blah blah blah. She's like, and she literally like, "Get your phone out," and made me write down a list of like venues that would be good for comedy or have had comedy in the past. So sometimes like it's audience driven.
Yep.
That's absolutely a thing. So, if there's places where you want us to come as the Budgy Smugglers or as, Jeremy Dooley and Steven Bradshaw comedians or both.
Yes.
Let us know.
Come out. We can do a live Smugglers, do a comedy show, whether it's your venue or your sporting club or anything you like. We're always up for a chat and we will fit you in somewhere.
Yep. In terms of how do I know what to talk about?
Oh, yes.
So if possible, I'll get to a place a day early and just walk around and just kind of wander around, see what I'm noticing and make a few mental notes. And an underrated thing that I do is I'll go and get a haircut in that location. Because then the barber just like, they love chatting, and that's a little hack there that I do.
I have done that before, but not consciously. I just needed a haircut, and then you get something to talk about. That's very, very interesting. And to Darwin, to your point before, because Darwin's so hot, and I sweat anyway, but like there, I don't think I sweat anywhere more on stage than I do at that Darwin fucking room. And I needed a sweat rag. So I bought a tea towel that says "I likes Alaska,"
Mm.
and then I brought that out and I showed everyone as I was, and they just got a round of applause.
Oh, there you go.
Because they love Alaska.
Yeah.
Anyway. Should we talk some sport, Jules? We're halfway through the pod.
Yeah, let's get to this.
It's going to be a long pod, everyone, because I've got some deep dives that we need to make as well. So we'll fire through these ones. The Aussies go 2-up in the Ashes, Jules. What are your thoughts?
What a belting it was in that second test. England didn't turn up to play until like right towards the end there of their second innings. It's like, mate, you've rocked up too late here.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, the Poms are dog shit. What the Bazball's dead.
I don't even know what Bazball is.
Neither do I, but all I've heard is that it's dead. I'm like, when was it alive?
Yeah, probably never. I think they just need to play a smarter brand of cricket. Like they're going in thinking like it's T20, and then when the game's lost, then they start to dig in a little bit. And it's like, mate, do that bit first. Dig in at the start. Actually spend some time at the crease or make it difficult for Australia. The Aussies just sliced through them.
I love that. I think I'll be at the Boxing Day test. So if there's any Budgy Smugglers out there, DM the Instagram. We'll film a little interview with you or something like that. Maybe after the Boxing Day test, if you're not, we should do a live alternate commentary.
Yeah, we could do that.
So let us know if you want something like that, because that could be fun.
Yep, that will be fun. Yep. Now, one of the big bits of news around the test was before the test at selection with Gary, Nathan Lyon, getting dropped. He was filthy. What are your thoughts?
You had him in your top 5 most overrated Australian cricketers, didn't you? So...
I mean, if you're going to bowl as many deliveries as he has bowled, surely you're going to take some wickets.
Yeah, exactly. I was surprised to see he was out, but we're playing against the Poms. These are easy wins. What does it even matter if we do have Lyon in or not? I don't know who the replacement spinner was. The test is in where? Brizzy? So I don't know if that plays into his hands, but the fact that he was filthy is fair enough. Have you ever been dropped from a team and that's left you feeling filthy, Dools?
I have actually. Okay. When I was playing footy, I was playing in the VAFA for a team, and at the preseason, I got best on ground 2 games in a row. And then the coach said very publicly, Jez will be the starting midfielder, and he'll take on the opposition's best player. And then I was nailed to the bench for the rest of it. I was like, what have I done here? Like, I don't know why, but that's the only time I've been dropped. What about yourself?
There you go. You've just given me flashbacks because I don't think I've ever been dropped. But I think it was the under-12s grand final. I was playing for the Melton Bloods. I'd been the starting fullback all year. And the coach's son never really got much of a run. But then for some reason on grand final day, the coaches, I'd never sat on the bench the entire year, and then all grand final day, half of it, I was on the bench for no reason. So, yes, I'm going to go home and cry tonight now. Yep. In some other big news, though, Tassie Stadium, it's up and running, Jules. It's got approval. It took a 12-hour parliament session to vote yes on it. The Devils are coming. What are your thoughts on the stadium? What are your thoughts on the 19th team? Are you excited?
I'm excited that Tassie has a team. I think that is long overdue. Tassie should have had a team decades ago. They are a football state. They are a very proud state and would get behind it. It's also a state that, it's quite a divided state. The north-south divide is quite big in Tassie. I don't think the way that the stadium got approved and the way that the AFL sort of bent Tasmania over a barrel and said, well, you're not going to get a team unless you build a stadium that we are going to control. Like, that is just bullshit, again, from the AFL. I love the game. I love that there's a team in Tassie, but I hate the AFL as a business.
You certainly do. I'm excited. Tassie should have a team. If you are to approve a 20th license, where are you going to stick that team, Dools?
Northern Territory.
Northern Territory, 100%. Yeah. I think we don't need another WA team. Keep those 2 teams strong. It's like with unless you want a repeat of the Western Melbourne, whatever that soccer team was. It's too late. It's too late in the game. Don't bring in that. No one cares about another South Australian team. If we want a true AFL, we need a team up north with strong Indigenous influence in terms of the players and how they go about it and style. I think they'll be one of the best teams to watch. I think NT should be the team.
Yeah, get the team. I'd say Darwin as well versus Alice Springs. They're probably the only two places in the NT that could sustain a team. You get them in Darwin. The climate alone will give them a good advantage. What would you call them?
The NT Mary's Laskers.
Yeah. The Darwin Luxor Festivals.
What have they been called in the past? The Thunder.
Yeah, that is
too close to power. And
NT
Storm.
Thunder. What about like the Crocs or something?
The Crocs I like.
Yeah, and then they could get a brand deal from
Crocs
footwear.
And they could play footy in Crocs.
Yeah. Do you know I nearly bought at the
Country and
cowboy
Listens
shop?
at
Yeah,
the
I
Laney's.
nearly bought a crocodile skin belt.
That would have been sick.
It was pretty good.
How expensive was it?
It was a lot.
Ah.
More than it was so much that I looked at it and I was like, oh, I wonder how much this costs. And then I turned it around. I was like, oh, and then I put it back.
Yeah. So when you say almost,
well, I was in
You
my
looked at
hand
it.
and then I looked at it. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Same with it. I nearly bought a black cowboy hat as
that's
well.
what I was hoping to go off the shirt.
And they are a lot pricier than what you think.
Really?
They are in the hundreds.
Oh, yeah, I figured that.
I didn't think, I thought maybe 100, 150. We're talking.
St Kilda footballer Jack Sinclair started a cowboy hat company, and
Really?
he's got a whole channel dedicated to him making hats. It's quite cool. Can you wear the shirt on next week's pod?
I will. Yeah, okay. I will wear the shirt. On
Giddy up. We're the giddy stat of the week.
Cameron Smith,
Yes.
runner-up at the Australian Open with some guy called Rasmus Niergaard Peterson sort of came out of nowhere there at the end, winning by one shot. What are your thoughts on this? I thought this was tennis.
No. Cameron Smith, he hasn't won since I think the British Open. Obviously, he's over in Live Golf, was former number one in the world or close to at his home tournament at the Australian Open. Got into a playoff with, of course, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson and didn't quite do it. Rasmus with a great bloody birdie to his par. Shattered for Cam, but a great success for Melbourne and the Australian Open. Rory McIlroy featured prominently. Our boy Minwoo Lee was in the top 15 or so. Had another great weekend. Good weekend. It's great to have these big names down here playing golf in our backyard where you can go and watch, Rory, who's one of, if not the best player in the world. Great weekend for golf in Victoria. I tell you who had a great week. Jai Opatea has successfully defended his IBF and the Ring Cruiserweight world titles on the Gold Coast. Did you catch any of this?
I saw the finish. It was, whoa, that other guy got slept. That guy's probably just woken up now. It was, and look, it was a pretty sort of scrappy performance from Big Jai up until that point. I know he wasn't happy with it. And then when you've got knockout power, it is the great equalizer, and he put him out.
He looked very good. Looked in good shape as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's looking good.
Now, I know you're a big fan. Sam Kerr returned for the Matildas on Australian soil for the first time in a few years. Australia beat New Zealand 2-0 with Alana Kennedy and Hayley Raso scoring. What were your thoughts on the game?
Oh, they look great. Alana's goal and Hayley's goal as well were fantastic. Kicking the ball. They kicked the ball, went straight into the net, and then that gave our team a point. And that was the 2 points we needed to beat the New Zealand sheep shearers. What are they? Oh, probably
I don't know what they're called.
New Zealand women's
Ferns
team.
or something?
The Ferns? The tall ferns? Silver Ferns, maybe?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's not a surprise that we smacked New Zealand, but good to see our girl Sam Kerr back returning to the Matildas on Australian soil. The greatest female soccer player that's ever lived. You heard it here on the Budgy Smugglers first. I don't know, maybe it's been said somewhere else, but she is the one that I know of. So that's a big thing there, and Mary Fowler as well. So I know 2 of them.
Yep.
There you go. Now I know 4. Alana Kennedy and Hayley Raso. Alana Kennedy, of course, related to former WWE superstar Ken Kennedy.
Kennedy.
There you go. And Lachlan Kennedy, the sprinter.
Kennedy.
Heard it here first. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting, Dulls. Emerging star Emerson Jones and veteran James Duckworth have earned wild cards into next month's Australian Open draw.
Okay. Didn't that just happen, the Australian Open? We just spoke about it. Cameron Smith came second.
Different Australian Open.
Oh, this is the tennis Australian Open.
This is the tennis Australian Open.
Of course. Emerson Jones. It's 2, I don't know, is that 2 surnames? Emerson? Is that
it feels
surnamey.
I don't know too many Emersons.
No, it does. It feels quite surname adjacent.
What do you think Emerson's chances are?
I would say slim to none. And James Duckworth, veteran James Duckworth. I'm sure he's a great bloke. I'm sure he's got a good serve volley style.
There you go. You heard it here on the Budgy Smugglers. Here you go. I've just Googled Emerson. Emerson combines advanced technologies, industry-leading expertise, and an insatiable curiosity about the world to create sustainable solutions for our ...
There you go. He does have an insatiable appetite.
I think you might be right. She might be a double second namer. I can't find any other Emerson.
Is it a she?
Yes.
Oh, I'd say that. I thought it was a dude because it said son in it.
Yeah, no, it's I like it though. Emerson.
There you go.
Jot it down.
Speaking of the sport, the Newcomb medal was just won for the 4th time by Alex Diminor. Tell us about the Newcomb medal and some of your favourite winners.
Named after legendary Australian tennis superstar John Newcomb. And of course, it's been won by Pat Cash, Pat Rafter, Nick Kyrgios, Leighton Hewitt. I think Rod Laver won it several times, probably. I believe. Also, Yvonne Goolagong was a 12-time Newcomb medal. They should call it the Oldcomb medal because it's been around for so long. But Alex moves up to 4th because there hasn't been any good Australian tennis players in at least 4 years, it seems. Yeah. So big moves for Alex Diminor. Is that say a lot about the state of Australian tennis when he's won the Newcomb medal 4 times?
I mean, it's at least he's won something 4 times, you know. So he's maybe it's preparing him for winning something in tennis.
There you go. Maya Joint finished runners up as well. All right. Here we go. This is sad. This is very sad. We're upset about this. This has just happened, I think, in the last 24 hours. The Golden State Warriors have waived Alex Toohey. They've given up on our boy this early, Dulls. What happened?
Come on, Golden State. Like, you're signing Curry's brother, who's, it's like a home brand version and he's not as good. Give Toohey, just give him some time. He'll do a bit of everything. He'll do the extra pass. Okay, he's not a Curry. He's a Toohey. And, you might have a cold Toohey, with a curry sometimes.
That seems like the perfect match. Who wouldn't want to order 2 curries and a Toohey's new?
Exactly. Not into it.
Damn it.
Do better.
All right, we've got some stuff we need to deep dive into, Dulls. We've got 3 big subjects here. I'm going to tee you up for this first one because this is very, very exciting. It's just been announced, Dulls, the Socceroos for next year's World Cup. The draw is out. We will face a still-to-be-decided qualifier, the United States and Paraguay next year. What are your thoughts on your draw? My instant reaction is we're going to win the World Cup. That seems like a great fucking draw. I'm very, very happy. Jules, breakdown. We have a European team. We have the United States and Paraguay. What does that mean for our Socceroos' chances? Break down these matchups. What do you think?
I think it's very good for the Socceroos. I think the Socceroos play well when they're in a big tournament, when there's a lot of pressure on them. That's when the Socceroos do their best. Now, the United States at the conclusion of this draw were very American about it, being like, this is a layup for America. Like, we're going to win. We're going to dominate. The Aussies are nothing, giving it a bit of like Americans are going to American, and they don't actually realize what they're coming up against. Because they beat Australia 2-1 in a friendly a couple of weeks ago, but it was a friendly, and Tony Popovich still experimenting with his side, and there was an illness that had gone through the team, and they still only won 2-1 in a friendly. Friendlies, are for experimentation. So I think in a tournament, gotta be good to beat America.
Oh.
Even if we don't make it through, just shutting up their stupid Seppo faces would be just tremendous.
Out of the soon to be decided teams, I can't see America beating any of them, and Paraguay is a toss up, and obviously the Socceroos will smash them. How good's it going to be when the United States don't make it out of the group stage for their own World Cup? Will Donald Trump deport the entire team? Will there be ICE agents on the side of the pitch just picking them off if they miss a pass, that kind of thing? What's going to happen because they just gave him a peace prize, FIFA, as well, which is fucking insane. What's going to happen to the US team when they go 0-3 in the group stage at their own host World Cup?
I'm calling it now. The amount of just boot-licking, ball-sniffing that happened from FIFA towards Donald Trump, it was embarrassing and it was nauseating and just like grow a spine. I reckon that there'll be, a little bit of funny buggers when the USA is playing. You might see a few decisions go their way or go against their opposition, and there'll be a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes for America to do as good as they possibly can.
Give us the lowdown on Paraguay.
South America, to be a qualifying nation from South America, even in the expanded World Cup, you got to be a very, very good team. And, the last time they played Australia, the Socceroos, we won. I think David Carney was the goal scorer. Boom, shakalaka. That'll be a close, probably an evenly matched. It's a very even group. But I think the Socceroos, if they can figure out the midfield for the Socceroos, if we can work on our midfield and play a little bit more positive whilst keeping the defensive line strong, I think the Socceroos should progress out of the group stages.
All right, so that's 2 wins between the US and Paraguay. If you own a house, mortgage it, put it on those results. We gamble responsibly, but gamble everything you have responsibly. In the UEFA playoff, out of the 4 teams, Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo, which team do you think would best suit, or who do we want to come out of those 4 teams in order for the Socceroos to have maybe the breeziest run into the group into the knockout phases of the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Probably Kosovo. They'd be the ones that you would hope for, and the ones you'd probably want the least would be Turkey or Slovakia.
Turkey, Slovakia, tough teams. Kosovo.
Romania are a bit of a wild card.
Yeah, I could imagine. I haven't heard much from Kosovo since those wars in the early 2000s, so it's good to see them back on top there. So, long live Kosovo. If you could pick any game to go to, Dools, so we have that UEFA playoff in Vancouver. We have the United States in Seattle, and we have Paraguay, Santa Clara. Which of these teams would you be most? Which of these games would you most like to go based on the game and the location?
Okay, based on the game and the location, 2 very different things. Based on the location, it'd be the Paraguay game because Santa Clara, lovely spot. That's good. Seattle, not as lovely a spot. It rains a lot up there, but it's against...
baby. I would pick Seattle, by the way. US and Seattle.
It'd be against the US because you just want to just beat them.
Love that.
Oh, it'll be so satisfying.
And then for our smugglers, if you're hearing it here first, listen to these times. The UEFA game, 2 p.m. in the afternoon on June 14th. The Paraguay game at midday on June 26th. The only one that messes us up a little bit is the US, but at 5 a.m. that's better than a lot of other games. So everything's come up trumps. Pardon the pun for the Socceroos. What? I cannot wait for us to be crowned the 2026 FIFA World Cup champions, Dools.
We should go and watch the United States game from Fed Square if they're doing it.
Done. And then maybe if you want this alternate, I'm excited for this alternate commentary thing. Maybe we'll go watch some with our friends at the Sporting Globe. Yep. Maybe we'll watch one at the Paraguay one will be a good one to watch live from a Guzman Y Gomez location. So we'll try and do some brand deals for those.
All right. Cool. I know you've been like a coil ready to explode here or whatever that metaphor is. Give us your thoughts on the F1 finale and Oscar Piastri and McLaren.
All right.
Go on into it.
Let's start here. The final race of the year in Saudi Arabia. That was just yesterday. Didn't go our way, Dools. Oscar needed to finish first. He needed Laneboy Lando to finish sixth or worst. In what was a tense but not very exciting race, Oscar tried some different strategies to try and work in his favor. It didn't not work in his favor, but he finished second behind Max Verstappen's first. Laneboy Lando came out third, which was enough for him to win the championship. So, Laneboy Lando won. That's the end of that. In what was a pretty uneventful weekend, but apart from one event. So what I've done, Dools, I have gone in the last 24 hours, I've got my pin board up, I've got photos, I've got red string everywhere, and I have deconstructed the season, and I have found every single instance in chronological order where either where F1, Laneboy Lando, McLaren or the stewards have screwed over Oscar Piastri this year in chronological order. And if one of these things didn't happen, Oscar would be world champion. But once you see the amount of things that have gone against Oscar Piastri outside of his control, you will 100% agree with me that Oscar was screwed out of the F1 championships. It started on the 18th of May in 2025 at Imola, where Piastri qualified first. We've covered all of these on the pod. Qualifies first. McLaren decided to give him a two-stop strategy and pit him into traffic, basically gifting points to Laneboy Lando. Verstappen ends up winning that one. July 6th, the British Grand Prix in Silverstone. Oscar is given a 10-second penalty. 10 seconds for breaking under a safety car, which we've seen other people do. 10 seconds, the biggest penalty you can get. Basically, all he did was jump on the brakes in sort of sketchy weather, and McLaren did absolutely nothing to fight back against that penalty. And also, if they were playing it fair, if it was, I'm telling you right now, if Lando got that 10-second penalty, they would have made Oscar swap spots. So there you go. There's another couple of points. The Hungary Grand Prix. On the 3rd of August, McLaren hand Lando the better one-stop strategy, gifting him the win. Remember speaking about it? I was furious.
You're incensed.
I was incensed. A one-stop strategy. They gifted him a win. How many is that? That's 3 instances. We're not even halfway through. At Monza, McLaren instruct Piastri to give back second place to Lando because McLaren stuffed up a pit stop. That was the most egregious one. They pit Lando first. They stuff it up, and then basically, they pit him second, and then they make Oscar give him back the place, even though they had decided papaya rules state that a slow pit stop is a part of racing. That was the biggest one of the year, which was absolutely insane. Or was it? There's still more. There was the Singapore Grand Prix where Lando makes contact and pushes Oscar off the track. I think it was turn 1. It was early in the race. He pushes Oscar off track. The McLaren come back to him and say Lando was trying to avoid contact, to which Oscar replies, if he has to avoid another car by crashing into his teammate, then that's pretty shit. So that's a pretty shit job of avoiding. That was a big one. So if I feel like if Oscar had made that move into Lando, they would have said to Oscar, you're going to have to give that position back. They did nothing. Absolutely nothing, Dools. Las Vegas, McLaren, stuff up. They get both cars disqualified. Qatar, just a week ago, during a safety car, everyone pits except for McLaren. And that completely cost Oscar the entire weekend, in which he was first pole in both qualifyings, won the sprint, was dominating the race. They make a terrible strategic call that again hurts Oscar, helps Lando. And then there was this weekend, Dools, the final race of the year. Lando, he's going up against Yuki Tsunoda. There's a very good video about this. Yuki's weaving, and then he cuts off Lando, which is in the rules. Come at me in the comments, and then if you just read the rule book, I did this week, and then Lando overtakes Yuki off the track.
Surely
and again,
it's not allowed.
In an F1 European-centric stewards conspiracy theory, they just let him go by. They penalize Yuki. They give nothing to Lando. They let him through. If he finishes fourth, that would help Oscar, obviously. It would help Max win the race, but obviously at the F1, they wanted their little lame boy Lando to win the F1 championship because they were sick of Max. They needed an English person because the English have not won anything since the 1914s, and that is the breakdown. I did all the points. Oscar would have won by 76 points if he wasn't screwed over by the F1 stewards, by Lame Boy Lando and McLaren. I declare Oscar Piastri the F1 2026 world champion. Well done, Oscar. Congratulations to Oscar. Stuff everyone at McLaren. Did you see Lame Boy Lando crying like a little girl? He was crying, Dools. He was crying because he knew he didn't deserve it, because he didn't earn anything. He was gifted everything. A little trust fund baby of F1. Not really. That's Stroll. But yeah, he was crying because he knew he didn't deserve it. That's why he was so sad. It was an absolute screw job. It's the biggest screw job since the Montreal screw job, where Bret Hart got ripped off his championship by Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon. We haven't seen anything like it since 1997 when that happened. Jules, conspiracy. It's a conspiracy against our boy Oscar Piastri. I'm very, very disappointed in F1, disappointed in McLaren. But in my heart, in our minds, for all the Budgy Smugglers, the champion of the 2026 F1 will always be our boy Oscar Piastri. Well done, mate. That's my rant.
Yep, that's a big rant.
It was a big, long rant.
That's a big rant. Are we going to the next bit?
Go to the next bit, Tool. So I just want, because they just announced a couple of days ago, across the weekend, we already talked about Volk versus Lopez too. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the rest of this banger of a lineup where I think we should probably go to this event because it's stacked.
It is stacked.
I want to get your thoughts. Give us a rundown of the UFC 325 in Sydney because it is stacked.
Okay, I think Dan Hooker will win his fight. It'll be an absolute barn burner against Benoit Saint-Denis. And then I think then it's the next fight that I'm really excited about. Rafael Fazayev and Mauricio Ruffi. That's an exciting fight. That's a very exciting fight. I think Ruffy will get over the top there, but geez, it's an exciting fight. Big Bam Bam, he's back.
He's back, baby. This is the one I'm most excited for.
My boy needs a win.
He needs a win. It's been a minute. He was so close up there at that fight with Cyril Garnier, which I thought would propel him coming on for a hot streak. But I have missed Bam Bam, but tell us about his opponent.
I mean, he's fighting against a guy called Taliesin, which is Allison with a T at the start of it. So I don't know about that, but I mean, Thai home crowd.
Sydney.
Doesn't need to travel too much then. So you'd hope that gets him.
An Uber to the arena from home.
Oh, exactly. He could, I mean, he's Eshe. He could Uber it to a train station and he'll be fine.
Take the bus, bro.
Yeah, go out to Parramatta or something. And Jimmy Crute. Got to love Jimmy Crute. Big fan of comedy, Jimmy Crute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big fan. I mean, yeah, he's a big lump of a dude, Jimmy the Brute Crute. So, yeah.
Coming off a loss?
Yeah, but he's
good.
He's good. He's tough. They're my thoughts.
There's your thoughts. I think there's some talk about Quinlan Sarkild also being on that as well.
He is.
He is on it.
Yeah,
Already been announced.
I mean, I don't know if that's been announced by the UFC.
You heard it here first. Breaking news.
He will be on that
Dool's
fight card.
Insider information.
Yep.
You've just heard it, which is great. So UFC 325. I will tag UFC AU and try and get us some free tickets. Tag them as well. Jules, I have a question for you before we get to the last couple of everyone's favourite segments, your top five and the power rankings. Victorian Maddie Kelly, 13, already holds 2 national titles and is competing strongly in the open women's competition in what sport?
Okay. Maddie. I'm trying to think like what sort of parents would go Maddie versus Madison. So I would say equestrian.
Equestrian, not even close.
Okay.
I'm going to let you keep guessing. I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Okay.
In the open women's competition, she holds 2 national titles. She is 13.
Gymnastics.
No, not gymnastics.
Skateboarding.
No, unfortunately, no. She holds 2 national titles and competing strongly in the Open Women's Championship in blind tennis.
I was close.
Which is great to see a Victorian and Aussie dominating at blind tennis. How do you think that sport goes, Dawes?
I don't know. She's too young to be drinking.
A lot of swinging and missing, I feel.
Is it a ball with like a bell in it?
Oh, maybe. It could be.
So I've seen blind cricket, and that's what they do.
They put a bell in the ball.
And so like they can hear it, and then they're swinging for it.
I love blind tennis. I tell you right now, there's a sport I haven't seen that I really want to see. That looks like fun. Jules, do you have?
I do.
A top 5?
I do. I was going to go with One Direction for this top 5, but it's because the World Cup draw is not fully finalised yet. I'll save that till it's all done. So till all the teams are qualified. So I'm going to go with my top 5 worst supporters in the AFL.
Individuals or
no? Just teams. Teams supporters.
All right, I've got an idea of this.
All right, coming in.
I'll tell you right now. After last week's complete cluster, if Richmond is not in this top 5 as well, because they are putrid. But please go ahead. The top 5 worst AFL team supporter bases.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
coming in at number 5, the West Coast Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, and unless you're out west, you don't know just how bad they are. They are the worst. They're entitled, also a bunch of scumbags, and we don't want them. So they're coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 for my top 5 worst supporters in the AFL, we have got the Port Power fans.
The Nuffies.
They are. Tell you get them all in a room and you wouldn't get an IQ of 100 if you like cumulatively added them all together. They are just the worst. They're very unsettling. You go there and you're like, it's like the hills have eyes. Have all come out to a stadium. They're a lot. Coming in at number 3. This is where it got a little bit tricky. I was like, I ruled out any fan from the Gold Coast and from the Giants because they don't
have the history behind.
No, they're plastics. They're just there. It's like, oh, look at this new thing. Most of them are subsidised by the AFL anyway, so they can get stuffed. Geelong, they were close to making the top 5, but they have also missed out because they're just a corrupt organisation, Geelong, and they can just, they've got the AFL in their pocket. They're out of sight, out of mind. The top three, all right? The top three. Coming in at number 3, the Carlton Blues.
Yep.
Arrogant, entitled. They think they're good, but they're not. They're just a basket case of a club with supporters who are a bit ahead of themselves. Coming in at number 2, the Collingwood Football Club.
How are they not number 1?
No, because Collingwood, they're just so passionate about Collingwood. They get a bad rap. They're not as bad as what you think they are, but they're a little bit too into it.
Okay.
They're a little bit too into it.
I'm surprised because they would be your third and second would be my number 1 and 2.
Right. Okay.
So I'm interested to see where we go with this.
The worst fans in the AFL. The Essendon Bombers.
You're right, actually. I just cottoned on. They are my entire life, they have been insufferable.
Yeah.
The thing I hate most, sorry, this is your top 5. I'm taking over. When I was growing up, Essendon won a premiership when I was a little kid. And so when I got into my teens and stuff, and so many people went for the Bombers, I would ask them, why do you go for the Bombers? And they would say, I have an uncle, I have an auntie, I have a cousin, I have this. They're little bandwagon jumpers that picked whichever team was successful when they were a little kid. They didn't follow where they grew up. They didn't follow their dad's team, which is traditionally how you end up or where you live or who your favourite player was. They're all bandwagon jumpers. They're sooks. They bet on their team to make the finals when that happened. And how can you be so miserable? Your organisation's an absolute disgrace. They're drug cheats. They haven't played in the finals, won a final in thousands and thousands of days in 20 years. Every single Essendon supporter I've ever met is a complete fucking knob, and I do agree with you that Essendon are number 1. I'm sorry to take over your top 5, but what do you have them down for, Dools?
Exactly all the things that you just said. Their supporter base are the most entitled, arrogant, self-important bunch of losers that I've ever come up against. For a team that they're like, oh, but we've won the most premierships. I'm like, yeah, you've been around forever. Of course you're going to do that. And also, who cares about these historical things there? Let's look at the present. Let's look at this century. Have you? No. And you're still the most arrogant, self-entitled cheats. And you're always blaming
the 80s.
Excuses, and you're brainwashed into thinking that your team is relevant and important. You guys can just, I don't know.
Here's a news flash for you, Essendon supporters. James Hurd's not that good.
No, he's not coming back either.
Neither
is Kevin Sheedy.
He wasn't good on the field. He wasn't a good coach. He completely debilitated your club. And he's not going to come back. You can't have druggies on your board.
And I tell you, I remember when I was in primary school, all right, we had a teacher, Simon Madden, a champion player of Essendon, and he just wanted one farewell game, and they sort of stitched him up for that season. He was fit, he was still training, he was still playing at a high level, but they stitched him up. And so Essendon, you can get stuffed.
And I also want to get a little bit serious here for a moment on the Budgy Smugglers, which, as you know, we very, very rarely do. They're also racists. How does Derek Kickett play every game of the 1993 season? A beautiful player, someone that someone you want in a grand final, great hair, someone that has the capabilities to win a game off his own boot with flair. But no, we needed more white people in the 1993 because they already had Michael Long, and they're also racists, arrogant, drug cheat, pieces of scum. Good top 5, Dools.
Thank you.
Nailed it. Really went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, that was good.
Tag your favourite. Tag your mate who's an Essendon supporter. Time for the Aussie Athlete Power Rankings, Dools. A lot of chopping and changing this week. I think I'm very interested to see how you feel about the top 5 in particular. But at number 10, probably the last time you'll see her until the end of season awards. You've been great. She's the only person that has been in every one of our power rankings. I think we're up to 38 weeks in a row. The only one that's been in every week. It's the champ, the world champ, the Marie Claire Woman of the Year. She won that apparently. Thank you, Smuggler Bruno, for sending that through. Guacamole Picklum. What a run she has had in number 10. At number 9, our guy just plodding along. Philly's looking good. Had another good week on the field and has the voice of an angel. Jordan Mailata for the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL in number 8. Coming up, one shot short in the playoff. The mulleted millionaire, it's Cameron Smith, after his great performance across the weekend in the Oz Open Golf. In number 7, making her return after a couple of years on Australian soil for the Matildas, it is our girl, Sam Kerr, the biggest name in women's soccer. Great to see her back, smashing the Kiwis 2-0. In number 6, taking his opponent to Pound Town, which I don't think is the right verbiage for this particular scenario, but Jai Opataya in the boxing, two champs. The ring? What's the ring? That's new, isn't it? There's so many boxing titles, but he has 2 of the cruiserweight titles, and he won in an emphatic fashion last Wednesday. Jai Opataya in number 5. Just been hanging around here, one of the biggest names in their sport. They're on TV every week, making moves, a leader in their division. It is as you claim, the best thing to ever come out of South Australia. It's Mummy. It's Rhea Bloody Ripley in the WWE at number 5 in our power rankings. In number 4, had an absolute blinder with ball and bats, dominated the Poms, smashed them around the park, bowled them out. Number 4, it's Mitchell Stark for the Aussies. First time we've had a cricketer in the top 5 for a while, so there you go, all of you the Aussie cricket fans that keep yelling at us in the comments. There you go, there's a cricketer in the top 5. Again, you have influenced our power rankings because I wouldn't have had him in the top 10.
We can be bought.
Yeah, we can be bought, but you're playing against the Poms. If you're playing against India, come at me, but it's the Poms. It's like, who are we playing against? Come on. At number 3, a mainstay in our top 3 recently. We just read out the entire card, did a little bit of a preview. He has a rematch with Diego Lopez for the world featherweight title. It's Alexander the Great Volkanovski duels in 3rd. In 2nd place, this is where I think things get interesting. I want to hear your feedback on. Slipping a little bit, not himself, but his team. We didn't have a stat of the week for him this week because not much has happened, but they are crashing. At number 2, I have Chicago Bulls' Josh Giddey.
Oh, he's been in great form, the slob lord.
He has, but his team has not. He's dropped out of number 1 place. He's been number 1 for the last 3 weeks, I think. So in number 1, although didn't quite get the job done, but I listed all the reasons he got screwed over. He's the 2026 F1 World Champ in the Budgy Smugglers book. Number 1, it's Oscar Piastri.
Hey, well done.
Even if you want to go by the official record books, a 3rd place in the most competitive motorsport in the world, one of the most popular sports. He did it with style. He did it with grace. He only swore twice all season. Oscar Piastri rounds out our top Aussie athlete power rankings. What do you think, Dawes?
All well justified this time.
Okay.
I would say this is one of your better ones.
Really? Okay.
One of your better ones.
I didn't think you'd like Oscar.
No, he deserved it.
Okay. Fantastic.
Better ones. What do you got on this week?
I don't know. I don't think not much, Dawes. I think I'm going to have a little cheeky, quiet week. I will pop in actually and be doing a few open mics because I've got a bunch of new material that isn't that needs a bit of work. So I'm excited. It's exciting time. It's never a good time, but often is once you crack a few of these little bits that you're working on, once you get them over the hump, it is very exciting. So I'll be floating around. Keep your eyes out at Steven Bradshaw Comedy for where I might pop up.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm having a chill week, and my plans changed. Initially, I was meant to be on the other side of the country, but had to change that for a few things. So I got a pretty chill week. I'll be at Speakeasy Theatre on Thursday again. Road testing new stuff. So we'll see how that goes. It has been going well, but we'll see how it goes there. And then I might drop into a couple of mics as well.
Very good.
All right.
That's it.
That's it, folks. We'll see you next week.
Bye.